Hello, testing, testing. All right, guys, we're gonna be talking about the pound dollar, and these blue lines, we'll get to them really well, really soon, and I think you guys are gonna appreciate what I have right here. Back then, I didn't, I did them on my personal um, platform, which I still use FXAM, but this is just based on the I believe one of the demo accounts that I have. But I think I'm going to start doing it everything out of here, so I don't have to do them off both. So I think this is the one that I set up for the week. So most likely I'll be using this one. Um, at any rate, guys, if you skip the dollar index, just know that anything that has to do with purple represents my monthly zones. Anything that has to do with red represents my weekly zones. So there's really nothing to talk about the monthly zones. It's just that we bounced out of the monthly resistance area, and then we're coming down into monthly support. We're actually in monthly support, okay? And then we're approaching this weekly area of resistance. If you guys could see here, every time we came in towards this area, we got a good bounce. Okay, except this very long wick, but we'll discuss that as we keep on going further on. Let's go ahead and talk about the weekly. Um, Weekly, nothing really much to say. I didn't really necessarily touch my personal area of preference on the weekly, but we are coming down into my weekly area of support. This is where I kind of been talking about that. Hey, you know what? Let's pay attention to this because for all I know, this thing can easily rip off that previous support and just come running all the way down. So that's going to be a really interesting ride. Actually, the pound and the euro pound is going to be an interesting pairs for me to trade this week. Let's go ahead and take a look at the daily. Um, so now we're going to start talking about a little bit more of the levels that I have here, guys. If you guys are not aware, anything has to do with now yellow represents my daily supply and demand. So I went ahead and labeled my daily demand, went ahead and labeled my daily supply, and we're pretty much in the lower end of the curve. Um, and this is, we kind of just know that this is, we're, it's going to be really interesting, guys, this pound. Um, these lines, these white lines, all they represent is just support and resistance on lower time frames. Let it be 4 hour, 2 hour. I try not to get a low below 1 hour, but just know that they have a lot of confluence, and I like them even much better because uh, not only is there daily demand right there, but there's a lot of confluence in support and resistance, and that'll be right around the 118. Okay, so if price were to actually come ripping down maybe up to here, the 1875, 1900, I definitely would not take this any lower than the 1800. I would let it rip, get a retracement, continuation. That's as far as I'll go for maybe this week. Let's go ahead and bring it down to a 4 hour. All right, guys. So last week, and I'm sorry if I didn't do the videos for you guys last week, but this is pretty much what I had in mind and or what I was actually looking at. So these are not what I have here are not really um it's just these are just price alerts. These blue lines right here are just price alerts. Okay, so whenever I hear, I'll even actually open it up for you guys. All it is just telling the system to alert me. Once I get a 4 hour, you guys will notice that I'm more focused on 4 hour trades. Once I get a 4 hour candle breaking below, I need I need an alert. I need my computer to actually blow out my sound system and say, hey, you know what? We got a 4 hour candle closing below. Start looking for shorts. And that's pretty much what happened last week. My level of interest was this 2250 right there. So once that 2250 broke right there, once we get a 4 hour candle breaking below, that was my, here, let me go ahead and expand this. Once I got a 4 hour breaking below, then I would just wait for the pullback. Um, there was um, there's really nothing telling you somewhere right around here. Um, but I was actually almost stopped out because I had my stop loss at 23.45, I believe, right around here. So I was almost stopped out. I had my entry at the 22.95, 23. So that's pretty much like my full, uh, um, entire level right there. Um, and to the point that, yeah, I was kind of actually sweating it, but just once you commit to a trade, I think that's something that I'm getting better at. Once I commit to a trade, then I just let it run. And I have not, I actually closed everything out just this Friday. So I ended up closing right around the 21.25. So that paid off easily a 4-to-1 right there. But any rate, that's not what we're here for right now. Let's talk about, actually, that was a reason a little bit, because if you guys could see how I'm putting these trades, you'll be able to see how, and once we get alerts that trigger, just pick out the level. Maybe you could switch it to a day trade and say, hey, you know what? We got an alert to go ahead and short this. Let's start looking for supply up here and let's start looking for levels to short it off. And I would not be interested at that point to going long on this pound. And all I'd be looking for is just shorts. That's it. That's all I'm doing. So my next level was this 21. It's actually my 2150. I should actually put it down 2150 right there. All right. So that 2150 right there, we got that next candle, but that was Friday. So I didn't want to take any more trades. And that was pretty much it for me. Why do I still have it there? Because I'm actually, based on the dollar index, what we just talked about, based on the dollar index, if that 600 level goes down, if that 600 level, here, let me go ahead and bring it back just in case you guys didn't watch that the video. I would suggest that if you haven't watched the video, just go ahead and watch it. So if the 600 level plays out really well, where price comes into the 600 and bounces down, okay, um, actually, I should have we were talking about this 550. Maybe it'll play out and it'll continue going. Now that's why it's really important for you guys to watch that dollar index. But if that 600 level goes goes at, you know what? Actually, I'm sorry, guys. Let's go and take one step behind, because this was another game plan. If the dollar index right now opens up and it decides to actually pick up some orders right around, or maybe come in towards the demand 4-hour demand support of this 550 and then actually shoots up, then the minute the dollar starts going down, and that means our pound dollar should actually start going up. And where to? It should start picking up orders right around the 2150 area, because that was the level where we broke out right there. Okay, so if we start picking up some, maybe go ahead and start going. I'm looking at my other charts right here, um, and let's see if we have any orders around the 2150. Give me 1 second, guys. Um, so we have, actually, there's much better levels right around the 2160 all the way through the 2200. So if maybe just kind of be on the lookout for this entire area right there, right here. Be on the lookout for the entire area. And if you're that type of person like me, I want to go ahead and take the entire level. Okay. And just kind of just look out for this level. If you're up, maybe you're up like I am sometimes 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and then you're seeing that, hey, you know what, we're roaming around the area, we're getting, what do I mean by hesitation? Well, we're doing this, okay, and then we're just doing this, and then we're just doing this, and then we're doing that, and all of a sudden we get that breakout back down. Okay, well, at that point, once we get the breakout, then you actually cover the entire zone, which at that point I would not risk no more than that. Okay, and it just reduces your risk, and that's the advantages of actually is seeing if you gotta actually make that swing trade into a day trade, because your risk reward just went up. Okay, you're not risking that much, and your reward is actually much better off because at the beginning we were talking about actually taking the entire zone. But see, here's the thing, that at that point, if you guys can see here, I have nothing stopping this. Maybe if you're looking at definitely, and actually the 2000, actually I should have actually put a line here, an alert right there. Actually, more like a level right there, because that 2000, you got demand right there. You got 4 hour demand right there. So I. Yeah, I'll be looking to actually take this towards 2050. For the people that know how I trade, I tend to get bounces off the 2050, or sometimes even the 2000. I'm sorry, or the 120. I'm sorry, the 120. Um, uh, but that's more. So just so how you know what I'm going to be really focused on the pounds and on the euro pound. Even though people that know me, I don't really like that pair, but it just so happened that it caught my attention this week. And I'll be sharing you guys with the other next video. But yeah, this is the game plan. This is the game plan that I have. Let's talk about what if that game plan doesn't work? What if the dollar, because in order for this to work, the dollar index has to rip the 600, the 12,600 level, right? um, and we got to get a 4 hour confirmation. Then hey, you know what, we're gonna rip out, or maybe it comes down towards that. Here, let me go ahead and bring this down. Maybe it comes down, and then once it comes down, we catch a supply on the pound dollar, and then it just keeps on breaking up, breaking towards the upside for that given week. Well, that's pretty much your trade for that week. Okay, but let's talk about the other scenario. What if it doesn't happen? What if it actually starts coming down? And then you know what, that level didn't get respected, we come back for the retracement, it just decides to come back down. We talked about the 475. That was a level of interest right there. Well, if that's the case, if it starts coming down, well then more than likely that's not going to work out, right? Well, at that point, I need a 4 hour candle to break that level. Okay, and that's 2250. I need a 4 hour candle to break that 2250, because for all I know, if it comes, sorry, let me get rid of this, because if it doesn't, if it just decides to come back up here, this might just break it down. That level might work, that level might work, that level might work. I don't know. So I feel much comfortable. Once again, this is how I trade, guys. I trade more on the 4 hour levels. I need to get a 4 hour candle breaking above that. Okay, I need to get a 4 hour candle, and there's other pairs. There's other pairs we could trade, not just the pound dollar. The pound dollar will only work for me if the dollar keeps on pushing up. If the dollar looks like it's going to reverse back down, then the pound dollar is not the pair to trade for me. For me, okay. Um, and at that point, once I get a 4 hour candle breaking down, breaking above, actually that's the level. Actually, I actually brought that line a little bit further out, but I wouldn't be looking to take it further beyond the 123. At that point, I would actually wait for the pullback and then continue it back up. Where to? My next opposing level, which not only is there supply right there, there's support, resistance, everything, you name it, it's there. And I won't take it any further up than the 24, 25 level. So that's the game plan for this pound dollar, guys. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.